Good morning. Thank you. My name is Rebecca Fisher, and this morning here at First Unitarian Church, we are proud to be LGBTQIA+, and proud to be allies. And on behalf of First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, Delaware, from the bottom of my heart, I welcome you, whether you're here in the sanctuary, watching the live stream, or checking out the video recording on YouTube. Please feel free to arrive here as your full self, no matter your identity, your ideas, your thoughts, your emotion. Bring your love, bring it all here. As Unitarian Universalists, we value and encourage the individual search for truth and meaning, and at the same time, because we can multitask, we work in community to build a more just and compassionate world for all. First Unitarian is a welcoming congregation. That's our official designation. This year, a group of us are traveling to the Delaware Pride Festival in Dover on Saturday, June 10th. And you are welcome to carpool with us or join us, meet us down there. To that end, we're also hosting a training on gender identity, gender expression, pronouns, and avoiding unintended microaggressions on June 6th at 6:30 p.m. And if you're planning on joining us on June 10th, I especially encourage you to take that training first. But there's more. In partnership with the ACLU Delaware, we're screening a film from Selma to Stonewall. That'll be here in our sanctuary on Sunday, June 11th at 3 p.m. And if you can't remember all those events, you can find more information at the table in our parish hall today after the service. And you can also find out on our website, firstuuwilm.org. And if you received our e-news, all that information was in our e-news as well. And now, let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Elizabeth, Lizzie, darling, who's one of our newest members, for that great prelude. Really appreciate that. This morning is a celebration. It's a celebration of creativity and a celebration of the creative spirit within us and among us. During this service, we will view art from members based on our Creativity Matters themes. We will hear poetry from members of our Poetry as a Tool for Wellness group. We will hear some original music and songwriting from one of our members. We will celebrate one of our members who's a fiber artist and another who works with wood. And we'll see some art from our children. Perhaps we will each be inspired to discover or rediscover the creative spirit within ourselves. In reflecting on creative play, Jesse White states, "At their best, work and play are dance partners that don't let go of each other's hands." Play leads us to creativity and accentuates any kind of work. Adults' creative play may be artistic or musical, poetic, or based on physical movement. It may also manifest in the way a garden is designed, or the sock drawer gets organized, or the way an old recipe is tweaked. Have I covered all the forms of creativity? Almost all? No? Okay. So during this time of worship, may you recognize all the ways that you are already a creator within ordinary life. May you be inspired and inspirited to create again and again in your own way. Let us gather in worship to celebrate creativity and the creative spirit. May you find the creative spirit stirring within us and among us. Let's gather together in worship.
If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to join us by lighting it. With these words by the Reverend Scott Taylor, "In the soft light of this flame, may we see life anew. May the supposedly real seem less solid. May the inevitable reveal its carefully concealed cracks. It's all made of pieces and parts, friends, each of them longing to be rearranged. Or maybe it's a story and the pen is in our hand." So please stand in body and or spirit and join in singing "Draw the Circle Wide" with our hymn leader, Lita Orchinik. The words will be posted on the screen, and we have an audience participation part, friends, beyond the words. So Leah's going to sing the first verse so we all learn how the tune goes. And then if you feel moved to move, please join Reverend Larry and me to stand side by side in the aisles, and Larry will invite you when it's time.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle
think we're... You, that was beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Leah, for leading our hymns this morning. Please join me now in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action.
Someday I'm going to ask my friend Paulus, the dancer, the potter, to make me a begging bowl, which I believe my soul needs.
But the Cree Indians think that stories have their own autonomous lives. And whenever a story wants to be told, it comes out into the community and it finds the right person and bites him in the ass.
I was bitten by a story as I entered this world.
I said to my mother, I want to be a dancer. And she said, boys in my family don't dance. And Anna said, but Edith, to dance is to spring from the hand of God. I was dancing in a Broadway show and I heard a voice from the other side of the stage say, well, Paulus, this is dancing on a stage, but what does it mean to dance in life? I watched her as she lifted the clay, and that same voice said, that's a dance you can learn. So that became the bridge for me from dance to clay. Creating something, I'm in an act of creation. It is revitalizing me.
There's no end to his exploration. I don't know, he's 80 years old and he's still out there on the frontier.
You realize that there's a way of bringing technique and heart together.
There's something that we lose with contemporary technology, and that I would like to be the monk that raises his hand and says, remember the hand.
Paulus lives out of time. He brings the truth back to us.
I consider the craft arts as the finest arts of the 21st century because we're in profound need of healing. We've lost our imagination for the earth.
Do something. Make a list of all the things that are pleasurable in your life, and then make an art form out of one of them.
It's not a way of making a living, it's a way of making a life.
So Paulus Berenson, who you may have just been introduced to in this video, has been one of the most inspiring artists for me ever since my young adulthood. How do you dance in life? Was the question that Paulus Berenson asked of himself. The question took him from his life as a dancer to one as an acclaimed potter, teacher, and deep ecologist. Paulus's question can be our question too. How do I dance in life? In the film, he states that if I'm creating something, I'm in the act of creation. It is revitalizing me. He recognizes that art and creativity are a way for us to address our profound need for healing and recovering our imagination for the earth. If life could be represented in this clay, we recognize that though we may want to separate or pull apart those things that bring grief or sorrow, pain or suffering, that it's all still part of this life, this clay. Also, in its wholeness is our life. We are shaped by all that happens to us, by those sorrows, by this suffering, by the joy, by the blessings. May we hold all that is our life. When we need to, may we be open to finding a new center around which to ground and reform our lives again and again. May we find ourselves formed and reformed by the creative spirit within life, ever shaping and revitalizing us. Take this image of the pliable clay to represent our own lives. Hold all that is your life right now. Our sorrows, our joys, our challenges, our blessings. And let us reflect on this question. How do I dance in life? As we move now into a time of meditation, as we settle into this musical meditation that Elizabeth Darling will now provide for us, let us reflect on all that is our life. Let us reflect on that which needs recentering. Let us reflect on what shapes and continues to form us in this life that is our own. There are certain habits and practices of highly creative people that can inform our own approach to whatever art becomes ours, whatever life is ours to shape and form. In their book, Wired to Create, Scott Barry Kaufman and Carolyn Gregoire offer these characteristics of creative people. I think these characteristics are available to each one of us. And as I reflect on these characteristics, maybe you can reflect with me or alongside of me as I think about how each of these qualities can also be included in our creative approach to religion, which we call Unitarian Universalism. So here are those characteristics. Some of you are going to do a personal inventory as I go through these, but let's just appreciate them in and of themselves. Allow yourself to have a messy mind that embraces contradictions. Master the things about which you are passionate. Cultivate your sensitivity and perceptiveness. Welcome new experiences which can result in inspiration. Welcome daydreaming and intuitive thinking in order to connect with our inner selves. Embrace solitude, which gives us space to concentrate on our real passions. Make use of misfortune, turning tough experiences into opportunities for growth. Increase attentiveness to the present moment. Keep finding new possibilities by interrupting our habits of thought and behavior. Make new connections by risking failure and eschewing conventional thought. The American painter Robert Henry offers this insight on the artist within us. When the artist is alive in any person, whatever kind of work they may have, they become an inventive, searching, daring, and self-expressive creature. They become interesting to other people. They disturb, upset, enlighten, and open ways for better understanding. Where those who do not consider them artists are trying to close the book, the artist opens it and shows that there are still more pages possible. Nancy Pinson will now introduce our Creativity Matters group, and we will view some of their creative work.
Thank you, Larry. Consider for a moment the image that this expression conjures up. Making room for your right brain to dance with your left brain. Can you see it? This is the vision of the Creativity Matters developers as they invite us to use our intuition, our imagination, as our guide, in addition to our left brain logical thinking so many of us are accustomed to using. For the past 2 years, I've had the joy of exploring the Creativity Matters program with a small group of others, first through Zoom during the COVID time, and this past year, a combination of Zoom and in-person meetings. We focused on the same themes each month as the Soul Matters program, working from packets containing ideas for creative exercises to play with before we gathered to share our creations. We've explored a variety of techniques: collage, sketching, photography, videography, poetry, painting, fabric arts, beading, sculpture, music, and much more. No technical expertise or special artistic skill is required, just a willingness to tap into our imaginations and create. The method is up to the individual, and each month we have a variety of expressions that come forward. The result for me, and I believe for the others in the group, is a deep reach into our hearts and our souls as we venture beyond our thoughts. We gained new insights into the themes, into ourselves, and into each other through creating and sharing our projects. Adris Harrell has spearheaded a monthly table in the parish hall to display some of our creations, open to those in the group and to anybody else who would like to participate on their own. Some have also been displayed this spring upstairs in the art gallery outside Brunner Chapel in the library and music room. This display will be up through June, so be sure to venture up and take a look. But for now, sit back and enjoy our slideshow of some of the creative results from this past year's Creativity Matters program.
Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you, Nancy, for providing the space and the guidance for those groups to occur. And thank you to all who shared their creation and their creativity with us. We will have that group again in the fall, so if you're interested and have been inspired, you can be part of that. So now we turn to poetry. For a number of sessions over the past year, a group of us have been involved off and on with a group I've been facilitating at First Unitarian called Poetry as a Tool for Wellness, based on some of the insights and practices I've learned from the Institute of Poetic Medicine. Without doubt and no exaggeration, these sessions have been a moving and deepening experience. The writer, Barbara Brown Taylor, who also calls herself a spiritual contrarian, I saw some of you write that down, has written that poetry really is the cure. When we stop jabbering long enough to listen to what is going on around, among, and inside us, and we have someone to help us put that into the fewest, truest words available to us, the air clears and the aliveness flows through all the spaces in between. And so now, let us hear from some of our congregation, members of our congregation who've participated in our Poetry as a Tool for Wellness group.
Thank you. Do I have that right? Hard to adjust it to a midget. How's that? So for almost 50 years, I've been lucky enough to live on the edge of a pond. And during each of those years, for a couple of months, spring and fall, we have goose visitors, sometimes close enough that we say we could walk across the back of the pond on their backs like stepping stones. And in the night, they talk to each other, and sometimes to me. This is one of the reflections I drew away from a night conversation the geese were having. What can they be saying out there on the pond? Crescendo of chattering, the silent night shattering, that dark water gaggle resting from flight. Are they making their plans to fly away south? From cold, frosty ice fields to sun-warmed brown cornfields, strong, feathered formation seeking new height. Are they telling tall tales of great goose adventures, soaring far above highways, climbing vast, distant flyways, great gold belly arrow reflecting the light? Or might they be laughing out under the moon, or thinking how tragically we miss all they magically discover in darkness as we sleep through the night? Could it be all that calling that sounds through the air is a message they're sending of hope for the ending to the hunting and hating, the fear and the fright? Their cacophonic sound holds a message profound. Family means sharing. Living means caring. It's flying together that gives us our might. I love the brave promise of the geese in the night as I lie here and listen to their wild cry of wisdom. Dawn follows darkness, and the morning is bright.
These last 3 challenging years, Marty and I walked parks of changing beauty. There we met strangers, gave directions, met an emergency room doctor, a couple from Congress, a motivational speaker, a young man who lost his wife, watching his son walk the rock wall. Bikers, babies, runners, and others stopped to talk, offering kind regards. We watched deer, dogs, hawks, butterflies, flowers, the trees in myriad dress. We walked uphill to view the Brandywine Valley, walked by the river, the woods, on rocks and paved trails. The poem I share was a little light in the dark, seeing differently, experiencing the beauty of nature's changing strength. When my heart began singing, my soul listened. The poem is called Become, a Question of Hope. Be the wind who welcomes the rain, for she knows the earth needs the water. And sometimes a rainbow greets us. Be the wind who forgives the sun's heat, for she knows that life needs warmth and light. That's how we grow. Be the breeze softly soothing on all beings, strong in rising kites high, helping birds soaring flight, while bending, testing our resolve and strength. Be the breeze whispering in the trees, sending leaves for little ones to scoop and laugh, rustling sounds that we remind we are alive. Become the wind rejoicing in its hopeful travels as the flock flies, and we wonder, does the caterpillar know it will become the beautiful butterfly? Becoming, we feel, we smile together with the hope of new tomorrows. Can we become more than the wind? The question of hope. Choose to be, the wind whispers, not what you are, but what you can and will become.
I came to poetry for healing, kind of wondering whether I could do it. But I tried, so I'm still not sure about the whole thing, and this is called vulnerability. As I walked bravely into the college dorm, vulnerable, my growing up years had not prepared me for this type of world. Wholeness came from learning, accepting information presented by the learned professors, terrifying with their deep knowledge. As I walked bravely into the real world, vulnerable but yet terrified, I knew I could create, grow, become strong. And as I walked bravely into old age, still vulnerable but strong from life's lessons, eager to find new joys, I can create, be awed by nature, stretch my way of thinking, walking bravely through the university of life.
Well, I wrote this poem with my grandson, Michael, in mind, but I dedicate it to everyone who loves someone or someone loves them. Someday, not today, and hopefully not for a long time, but someday, you will be here and I will be somewhere, but not here with you. On that someday, I want you to know in your heart and all your being that I love you, and that my love is still with you and around you and inside you, and that love is the only thing that never dies. Someday, I want you to love someone as much as I love you, and I want that love to grow like a pandemic, spreading to the people you love, and the people they love, and the people they love, and so on and so on. So do you see? My love for you is always around you, and it goes on and on and on. So I am here with you always, forever.
For a number of years, Paulus Berenson, who we saw in the video, taught poetry and crafts at Pendle Hill, a Quaker retreat center not far from here. It's actually where today our member Hans Franke does woodworking and wood carving. Berenson, in speaking about crafts, said, "I'm very interested in the behavior of art rather than the achievement of art. I see all the arts as apprenticeships for the big art of our lives." Among the talented people in our congregation is June Peterson, who I discovered on a visit with her at Cokesbury, has done needlework and fiber arts for a number of years. We might see one of her pieces here. We'll see a short video of her now, and then we'll see a short video of Hans and his woodworking and wood carving, as it turns out, at the woodworking shop at Pendle Hill.
Here to introduce you this morning to a face you know well. It's June Peterson, a fellow church member, but interestingly, an artist, both since the 1940s.
Thank you, Lynn. It's nice to be here. It's June Peterson, a member of this church.
And she is standing in front of 5 beautiful works of art which she's created. Well, now, June, I'm going to focus on the one in gold.
Good. This is a favorite because gold is very hard to work with. And it took me quite a while to do all the different stitches in this one.
And you told me when I asked a minute ago if the gold was real.
It is real. It's real that you buy sheets of it and take off little pieces and then put a bead into the material.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic.
One seems to pick out as the favorite.
And why is that?
And it looks like the sea. It looks like the ocean. These are the waves. And it's a 3D piece of embroidery. That means I took some extra material and wrapped it. It's all wrapped.
Well, June, it's magnificent. You've done a wonderful, wonderful job, a gift to the world, as you are.
Come see my house and visit me so you can see more of my artwork.
You're here in the Pendle Hill Woodshop, which moved here in this building in 2005. And I'm Hans Franke, I started volunteering here in 2001 after I retired. I wanted to be a better woodworker. I made furniture, but now I wanted to be a better woodworker. And I heard that the guy here, Tom Janek, his name is well established here, he did furniture repair on Wednesday mornings. This is a Quaker place, and students would come here for a semester, and then on Wednesday morning they would have work morning and participate. And Tom established that the wood shop would be part of that. And so I came and visit, and furniture restoration, furniture repair is interesting because you get to know the structure of a piece of furniture, and you know whether to have dovetails or other joinery and things like that. And I enjoyed being here. It has always been a special place for me on Wednesday morning. And after a while, we started coming on Monday nights as well, working on projects. But here is a nice tableau of a project that we did in 2015. Lloyd here, the grounds manager, had cut down a piece of the Mama Beech, which is in the top left there. A very old tree, probably established around in the early 1600s. And that tree, you had to cut off a big, big limb, and that limb was laying around, and that started to rot. And the rotting process gave you the spalt, the colors in the wood, like these black lines. That's basically a rotting process. And what we did at that time, in 2015, we gave lumber, the American beech, the spalted beech, and Kentucky coffee tree to a number of artisans. We had about 70 plus people participating in that. And they made all kinds of furniture, from a little ring to an enormous church bench. And I participated in that, of course, too. And one of my finest pieces was made during that period. And that's not on this, and I'm happy about it. And I created this table. It has a sort of a Japanese structure that you can't see in here, but this is a beautiful piece of spalted beech.
Wow.
Yeah. So on those, here you see some other things that I play with. You can take a piece of square wood like this, and then you saw a little bit, and then you get this nice little bird. It's called a comfort bird.
Oh, lovely.
And I made tens and tens of those, and I'm giving them to grandchildren and friends. And my granddaughter once said, she fell and she had a scrape on her leg, and she said, "Dad, I need my bird."
Oh, nice. Her
that was
comfort
comfortable,
bird.
yeah.
Oh,
Comfort
lovely.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So over the years, I made also other things here. I have here a picture of a dresser that I made for my son and his family.
Wow.
And that was the biggest project I ever done. And then you learn that it takes more than just a hammer and a nail. That it needs some skills in terms of measuring and planning. And if you cut before you have measured, you have a problem. That's one of the things. And, the two ones I want to show side by side.
Okay.
I made a lot of square rectangular furniture, right? Boxes, cabinets, tables. And then I took a course in carving. I was in 2011. And that took me out of my comfort zone in a big way. And the result of that is a mask.
Oh, yes.
A mask that I made.
Yes. I've seen a picture of this before. You showed me.
Yeah, I'm always happy to show that one. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that was made out of poplar wood. And then I had found a piece of crazy wood in the wood shop, and I hollowed it out in the back, and that has place for a roll of toilet paper. And my son-in-law, he put in a very expensive toilet paper, $100 bills.
Right.
For an expensive wipe.
Yes.
But I had so much fun making that. Just the idea how everybody would react to that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. One of my earliest memories, I must have been 5. I remember coming home with a finger painting that I had done in kindergarten. I don't know what it was about that, but that idea of actually creating something, of seeing something that happened first inside of me, then happened through me, and then somehow was captured on a piece of paper, has been a memory that has lingered and been cherished in the treasure box of my own heart. The cartoonist and professor of creativity, Linda Berry, suggests that adults who struggle with accessing their creativity should begin where they left off. She suggests that you pick up the last crayon or paintbrush or piece of clay that you remember making something with and start again from there. Sure, your art may resemble a child's art, if the last art you made was in kindergarten. Sure, it may be silly, but can each of us open ourselves to being fascinated again? Can each of us find a way to play again? Can each of us allow in some creativity? So now let us view the art of the children in our church community. May they remind us and inspire us to recognize and to rediscover the artists within us.
As you've seen today, creative juices are flowing across the generations at First Unitarian Church. So I'm simply going to ask you to keep the creative lights as well as the literal lights on, because any starving artist knows that you have to at least meet the rent on your studio. And generously support the work of this congregation. We have some beautiful baskets at the back of the sanctuary, clearly labeled church donations, so there's no mistake. And you may leave your offerings there if you're here in the sanctuary today. And if you're joining us online, virtually, the marvelous means of making your contributions will be posted on the screen during what promises to be a very special offering music, because we have another art in the house, which is composing. So, Leah, please join us in dedicating our offering with these words: to the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
Reverend Larry asked me to say a couple words about the song that I wrote. And so this is something that I wrote recently for the church. I had been thinking about the different identities and different perspectives that we have over a lifetime, and how valuable these contributions can be at any stage, and how important it is not to be waiting for what we think of as the right moment or thinking a moment has passed, but to really appreciate and lean into the current moment and what we can offer. So this is called Who We Are Now.
The seasons arrive and swiftly are gone. If we watch the window and let them pass on without leaving a footprint, then we'll never know of the power we hold to matter, to grow. May the roles that we have in our lives ever change as we give and we take and we learn that who we were once isn't who we remain. And if we embrace this uncertain journey, we'll find there is much we can gain. We are who we are, at least for today. So let's share what we know and we'll light someone's way. And we'll rise to the challenge, one's always at hand. Make this moment enough to just take a stand. May the roles that we have in our lives ever change as we give and we take and we learn that who we were once isn't who we remain. And if we embrace this uncertain journey, we'll find there is much we can gain. Roles that we have in our lives ever change as we give and we take and we learn. Who we were once isn't who we remain. And if we embrace this uncertain journey, we'll find there's much we can gain.
Thank you to all the artists and musicians who have contributed to this service. If you have a chalice at home, please be safe and extinguish it now along with us in the sanctuary as we listen to this poem by Ashley Bryan. The poem's entitled Song. Sing to the sun. It will listen and warm your words. Your joy will rise like the sun and glow within you. Sing to the moon. It will hear and soothe your cares. Your fears will set with the moon and fade within you.
So as we prepare for our closing hymn, which is sing when the Spirit says sing, something like that. Dance when the Spirit says dance. We'll just keep adding words to it. Thank you to everyone who contributed their creativity to our service today. Make sure that you say hello to someone you might not know, someone who you think you know, or someone who you'd like to know better during our time of fellowship, where we'll have coffee and tea. There's also some tables, as you heard earlier, about our Pride events for the month. Following the service at noon, there's also the Soul Matters conversation that I'll be doing for just a half an hour in the Warner Room. Next Sunday is our flower ceremony, so bring a flower with you to church. We'll gather those here. We'll also be welcoming at least 8 new members in our service as well. Draw the circle. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone. We'll stand side by side. Draw the circle. Draw the circle wide. Let's stand as you're willing and able and sing our closing song.